The rumors are true. There's a brand new trophy Mexican bass lake. Welcome to Lake Picachos. And there's only one way to experience it. The Anglers Inn Way. Hall of Fame outfitter Billy Chapman Jr. is bringing his legendary service to Lake Picachos.
Experience Mexico's newest trophy bass lake, Lake Picachos, the Anglers Inn Way.
Now's the time to make your plans. Call today to experience Lake Picachos, the Anglers Inn Way. This week on Stihl's Reel in the Outdoors with Joe Thomas.
Let's go. Yeah. Fast like that. That snap you heard was my rib cage. Any one of these could turn into a 10-pound bass. That's a good one. Awesome. Get all body English in it. I said lures. You know what a hoot is? A hoot? Yeah.
I'm Joe Thomas. For over 25 years, I've made my living with a rod and reel. And today, more than ever, I'm still fascinated by the people that make fishing a uniquely American pursuit. What you're about to see is real. This is Stihl's Reel in the Outdoors.
Reel in the Outdoors with Joe Thomas is presented by Stihl. Are you ready for a Stihl? And by Pete. Run True. By Brookfield Renewable Energy, proud partner of the National Wear It campaign. By AES, makers of products for every season. And by Billy Chapman Jr.'s Anglers Inn International.
Hola. Hello. Hi, I'm Joe Thomas, and welcome to this week's edition of Stihl's Reel in the Outdoors. Now, for over a decade, I've made my annual migration down to Billy Chapman Jr.'s Anglers Inn on Lake El Salto in Mexico. Now, I could spend over 30 minutes right now telling you why I go every year, but I'd rather show you. Check this out. I've been coming here, whoa, what a babe. I've been coming here for a long time, and it stays like this right here. This is Lake El Salto, Mexico, right here. You know they're big when you gotta gill them. Look at that sucker. Oh yeah! Woo! What a monster. Oh, he's wanting to jump, he's too fat to jump. Oh, I'm having fun, man. And you reel down and you can just lay the hammer home. The difference is down here is they throw it back at you. Yes! Look at that one. I am telling. Yeah. You want to try it? You want to go swimming? You go for it, baby, if you want to do it. Give me more line. Oh, you got him. Unbelievable. Oh, you are my hero. Look at that fish. Unbelievable. You're only gonna see something like that on this show. Look at that. Where'd you go? Got it. Look at that. Now, after watching that, I'm sure you can see why I go to Anglers Inn on Lake El Salto every year. Until this year. That's because Billy had a surprise for me. A brand new lake called Lake Picachos in the shadow of Mazatlan that Billy thinks is going to be the new big thing. And when Billy thinks it, he's usually right. Now remember, this is Billy Chapman Jr. He's a member of the Freshwater Fishing Hall of Fame for a reason. He was among the first outfitters to introduce anglers to Mexico's trophy bass fishing. So when Billy says Lake Picachos is the next big thing, you can take it to the bank. So this is it. This is what you were so excited about, this new bass lake.
This is it, Joe. Lake Picachos.
Yeah.
50 minutes from Mazatlan. I mean, we've never had a lake 50 minutes from Mazatlan.
Stocked with Floridas too, right?
Pure Florida strain bass. And Anglers Inn has boats in the water. And basically, you can combo the two lakes between El Salto and Picachos. And we've never had two lakes so close together. It's been stocked for over 5 years with Florida strain.
And you're building a new lodge.
And we're building a new lodge, and we got a new kid on the block.
But you know what? I'm the first TV show here, and I say we go give it a test run.
You are, yeah. Let's go do it, man.
Morning. Now, for my very first trip on Lake Picachos, Billy had paired me up with local guide Oscar, who was from the area and best of all, had seen the lake before it even had water. Uh-oh, that one pulled back. It's a good one. Jump again. Here he comes. Bass fishing Disneyland. That's what this is. Look at this healthy, gorgeous Florida bass. They just take to this water down here. It's just insane. Hey, don't go away. More from Mexico's Lake Picachos when we come back.
Reel in the Outdoors with Joe Thomas is presented by Stihl and your neighborhood Stihl power equipment dealer. Are you ready for a Stihl?
That's a good one. There he is. I'm gonna go fishing. It's good, Oscar. Yeah. Bass fishing Disneyland. That's what this is. Hey, welcome back. I'm Joe Thomas, and so far I am super impressed with Lake Picachos. The fish are healthy, there is cover everywhere, and best of all, it's full of tilapia. And if you know anything about tilapia, it's a protein shake for bass. Oh, just keep making the same cast and just catching them one after another. Nice. This place is loaded. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, you can get on one spot here in a lake like this and just load up. Nice fish. Look how fat, healthy. Just how cool is it to fish a brand new lake? Be one of the first dudes to get the chance to fish it. Just fat. Best job in the world, without a doubt. If I ever complain about my job, you just kick me. And any cast, even a lake this young, any cast could be a giant. The word is that Lake Picachos was impounded about 8 years ago, and it's basically for irrigation of crops and a supply of water from Mazatlan. The bad news is they had to displace about 7 villages that were along this river valley here. And we were driving in and there were these beautiful new villages that we passed through. And when they displaced the villages, they built new villages with new homes. They gave them a school, a church, really took care of these people. It wasn't like, hey, sorry about your luck, what do they call it in the US, eminent domain. They actually took care of these people, and what's even cooler, like our guide Oscar here, Oscar, right? Oscar, yeah. He's a native of one of the villages that was displaced, and Anglers Inn is using all the guides from the village here. So it's bringing business. I mean, it's everything about a new lake here is good. It's good for the whole area. Brings in fishermen, which brings in money, water supply. Gets Joe Thomas down here, lets him catch a couple big bass. It's all good. It's all good. Another nice one. Oh, he's pulling drag. Seriously. Get out from underneath the boat. Oh, it's a good fish. Water flying everywhere. I mean, you gotta like it. You just gotta love it, man. Come on, really, really. Come on, boy. Get over here. Fish after fish after fish. It just tugs. And the anticipation in a lake like this, because you know every one of those little tick-tick could turn into a 10-pounder. And the thing is this lake just recently has been pumping out some 10-pound bass. For a while there, you know, they were talking about, oh, lots of 4s, lots of 5s. And it was just like this mushroom cloud happened, and now they're pumping out, you know, 8s and 9s and 10s, you know, on a fairly regular basis. That's broodstock. Imagine this, that's a 3.5-pound bass. That fish will probably be 7.5 in just a couple of years. Better book it now. Nice one. No better. Oh, that's a good fish right there. If I keep him out of this silly tree, he's dogging me. Look at that. That's a good bass right there. Look how fat that thing is. Come here, dude. Come here, dude. No. Chunky, fat. Little UV hog got you, didn't it? Look at that. Just swollen. Just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. This is crazy. Hey, don't go anywhere. I'll be right back from Lake Picachos in Mexico in 2 minutes.
The rumors are true. There's a brand new trophy Mexican bass lake. Welcome to Lake Picachos. And there's only one way to experience it. The Anglers Inn Way. Hall of Fame outfitter Billy Chapman Jr. is bringing his legendary service to Lake Picachos.
Experience Mexico's newest trophy bass lake, Lake Picachos, the Anglers Inn Way.
Now's the time to make your plans. Call today to experience Lake Picachos, the Anglers Inn Way.
It's a good one, dude. Hey, I'm Joe Thomas, and welcome back to Stihl's Reel in the Outdoors from Lake Picachos in Mexico. Now, what you just saw was not special effects. Heck, it wasn't even an exaggeration. I mean, I literally lost count of how many bass I caught. Now, granted, the majority of the fish are 2 to 4 pounds, but some big ones are starting to emerge. Remember, the growth rate for these bass, given the year-round growing season and the tilapia-based forage, is around 2 pounds per year. It doesn't take a calculator to realize these fish are going to grow up in a hurry, and you want to be there when it's happening. You know what impresses me about this lake's, what? It's 8 years old, but it's had bass stocked in it for 5 years, is the fact that it just has a big variety of sizes. I mean, we've caught them from this long all the way up to, you know, this long, and that shows that over those past few years, we've been getting good spawns here. Right? They have been getting good spawns here. The future of this Lake Picachos, you know, I don't think there's ever been a lake on the planet like Lake El Salto. From what I'm seeing here, this lake could be as good as Lake El Salto. It's always amazed me how Lake El Salto handles fishing pressure. I mean, it gets worked over pretty good about 9 or 10 months a year. And I've always thought, man, what would it have been like to be here, to be one of the first dudes on this lake to drop a lure in? Well, that's what Lake Picachos is right now. I mean, I'm one of the first guys to ever be there, and if you want to be one of those guys, you better get on the plane. Another reason to use braid. Another reason to use braid. It's funny too, because about half the fish I've been catching, I'll pitch that bait in and I'll let it go down and they'll hit it on the drop. And then there's the other half. These fish are so aggressive here in this new lake that I'll start to reel it in, and just the action of that jig swimming with that tail on it, they'll grab it on the swim. Yeah, back in the boat. And that's the one thing about this lake, there's no bass gonna come in the boat because this is totally a catch and release lake. And I think that they understand the resource and the value of the resource down here, and they've set most of these lakes down here, particularly El Salto and Picachos, up as a trophy lake. It's catch and release only, very strictly regulated, and that's what keeps these lakes, even when they start to get some pressure, which this one hasn't had any yet, but when they start to get some pressure, they still continue to produce, you know, giant stringers over and over and over because people keep putting them back. I like that. Oh, big fish. Oh, I thought he was when I pitched that jig in that tree. And I just saw the flash. I thought it was a big one. I saw the whole side of the fish. Gosh, they're aggressive. So aggressive. Can't tell you how many fish we've caught today. It's just been insane. Insane. It's good, Oscar.
Bueno.
Yeah. We are breaching the language barrier through the bass. That's exactly how we're doing it. We understand one thing. Neither one of us speak the other's language, but this he gets, and so do I. Bueno, that must mean good. That does mean good, I know that. Fish. I love it when they're down in the middle of those trees, even 2-pounders or pound-and-a-halfers, when they're in the middle of those trees, just set the hook and it locks. I mean, look, just look around. I mean, I'm on a new lake that's had this much fishing pressure. I think I'm the first TV show ever to be here, and we are flat whacking them, and Oscar is not happy because we're not catching 10-pounders, but I'm just having a hoot. Just a hoot. You know what a hoot is? A hoot? No? Hoot is bueno. Hoot? Yeah. That's, oh. Got it again. Another one. Better fish. It's weird, man. I had that one, I spit it out, and before it could get it to the bottom, another one had it. There must be a whole school of them there. This lake is just so full of fish. Nice one. Look at that. Just one after another after another. It's beautiful. Gotta believe it's gonna be one of the best lakes in Mexico shortly, if it's not already.
Hey, don't go away. I'll be right back with more great bass fishing from Lake Picachos and this week's Ranger Evinrude Reel Highlight.
So this is the new lake you've been so excited about and telling me about for a whole year now. What?
Here, let's go from the top.
This is it, Joe. Lake Picachos. And Anglers Inn's got boat cut.
But no, say exactly what you're saying.
Okay.
Because I don't want to laugh. Yeah.
Welcome back to Stihl's Reel in the Outdoors. Now in Spanish, the word Picachos means peaks. And I'm sure they're talking about the incredible mountain scenery that surrounds the lake. And it is amazing. But I guarantee you in a couple years, the word peak is going to be for the bass fishing.
Right in that bush. That's just exactly why. I mean, even a fish like this is not a giant by any means, but that's why if you come here, I mean, this lake is full of new cover. You have to have heavy tackle. I mean, pitching rods at minimum. I use 65-pound. I'm using 65-pound fins braid. The jigs that you're using have got to have a big hook in them. Same with the soft plastics, because even a fish like this, when you pitch into that gnarly stuff, you got to have a lot of oomph to be able to get them out. And the one thing about Mexico is any one of these could turn into a 10-pound bass, any pitch. So you got to be loaded for bear all the time.
Honestly, one of the best days I've had on the water in a long time. But like any day on the water, there's always one moment that stands out. And that's this week's Ranger Evinrude Reel Highlight.
Fish, fish, fish. It's a good one, dude. It's a good one. Oh, jump. Oh, it's a giant. I got it. You know, everybody knows the history of Mexico and giant bass. And today, look at that giant one, it's a giant. Today, I'm experiencing one of the hottest new bass lakes in Mexico. This is Lake Picachos.
and it's absolutely loaded with big giant bass like this. 5 years old, and putting out bass like that. I can't even believe I'm having a chance to be one of the first fishermen to spend any real time on this lake, one of the first American fishermen, and the fish on this lake are just stout. They stocked it 5 years ago. The growth rate is incredible. You know, for years I've been going to Lake El Salto, and I had a chance to come here with Billy Chapman and Anglers Inn, have a new lodge on the lake, and this is just the beginning, guys. I promise you. Look at that. What a fish. Awesome. Oh yeah. That's awesome, Oscar. This place, you know, I've waited to come here. We've been talking about coming here for several months. This thing wasn't even on the radar. I mean, it wasn't even on the radar until Billy called me up and he says, man, he said, it's like a bass fishing mushroom cloud ready to happen, and you gotta get here. And he's building this beautiful new lodge on this lake. And to be one of the first people, probably the first television crew in here, is amazing. I love firsts. And that's just getting started, my man. Yeah. Yeah. Look at that. I can't even imagine what this lake's got in it. I don't even want to know. No, I do want to know.
I'd like to say a special thank you to my good friend Billy Chapman Jr. and Anglers Inn. Hey, if you've ever dreamed of taking a trophy bass trip to Mexico, you better go now. And make sure Lake Picachos is part of it.
Oh, oops. Quick release. Let's go.
The rumors are true. There's a brand new trophy Mexican bass lake. Welcome to Lake Picachos. And there's only one way to experience it. The Anglers Inn way. Hall of Fame outfitter Billy Chapman Jr. is bringing his legendary service to Lake Picachos.
Experience Mexico's newest trophy bass lake, Lake Picachos, the Anglers Inn way.
Now's the time to make your plans. Call today to experience Lake Picachos the Anglers Inn way.